Welcome to the Noonday Meditation with Wayne Vernon.
The condition of the human who is estranged from God is portrayed by the prophet Isaiah as a straying sheep. The image he uses is a straying sheep. And Isaiah 53 and the verse 6 says, "All we like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has wandered to his own way. And the Lord has laid upon him, Jesus, the iniquity of us all." Consistent with this idea, this imagery, Jeremiah speaks of those who are out of fellowship with God as lost sheep. Listen to the word of the Lord as Jeremiah presents it. Jeremiah chapter 50 and the verse 6 and verse 7. "My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have led them astray and caused them to roam on the mountains. They wander over the mountains and hills and forgot their own resting place. Whoever found them devoured them. Their enemies said, we are not guilty, for they have sinned against the Lord, their true shepherd, their true pastor, the Lord, the hope of their fathers." Speaking of the people living in rebellion against God, they are described by Jeremiah as lost sheep, roaming, wandering over the mountains, totally oblivious of their true resting place. They have forgotten their resting place, their true resting place. They are vulnerable and at the mercies of their predators. They are ridiculed by their enemies, who rightly recognize that their fate is as a result of their choice, their decision, their behavior. What they're experiencing is actual retribution. Their enemies say, "We're not guilty. We're not. For they have sinned against the Lord, their true pastor, the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Therefore, they are unfed. They're roaming hungry, and they're roaming without hope." Friends, Ravi Zacharias says the rebellious man proceeds along a continuum. He moves from rejection to alienation to domination and to condemnation. That's the progress. It's like we said yesterday, down a downward slope, a slippery slope, from rejection to alienation to domination and to condemnation. When human beings are estranged from God, we become separated from God. We are left hungry. We are left morally bankrupt, and we are left hopeless, without hope, according to this passage in Jeremiah. And so today I remind us that the condition of man is described by several imageries in the Bible, and that used by the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 56 and 7 is the imagery of a lost, wandering sheep. Now, there are two things that we want to pay close attention to in this particular passage. And here is it. The first thing is that, according to Jeremiah, it was their shepherds who led them astray. It was shepherds who led these people astray. In our world, in our society, people are being led astray by bad influences. And God's people were led astray. People were led astray by bad influences. The second thing I want us to recognize is that they have a resting place, but they have forgotten their resting place. Rebellious man has forgotten their place of rest. The other thing we want to point out is how vulnerable a life is that is separated from God, and also how shameful, because the enemy recognizes that it is because the life is separated from God why the human being goes through what we go through. I say to us today, if you know that you are separated from God, here is a golden opportunity for you to reconnect with your Creator. And if you choose to do that today, then we're so glad to be able to share with you and to journey with you. And all you have to do is to text the word salvation to the number 647-309-7302, and someone will be able to journey with you. May God richly bless you. We invite you to join the West Toronto Church of God on Sunday evening at 6:30 for the critical conversation with Dr. Philip Bonaparte. Dr. Bonaparte is going to address the vexed issue of the COVID-19 vaccine. He's going to speak to the biblical, theological, the medical, and social concerns regarding the COVID-19 vaccine. We look forward to having you. Zoom credentials for that meeting, 416-235-1333. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.
Thank you for listening to the Noonday Meditation with Pastor Wayne Vernon. Please forward this study to your friends, your relatives, associates, neighbors, and all those persons in your social network. If you have a prayer request, please feel free to communicate with us, and we will commit to supporting you in prayer. Until we meet again tomorrow, Shalom.